And it was pretty clear that Yoanders was having trouble gripping the ball there. Just did you think prior to that this should have been tarped earlier?
I mean, that was Osmus and I were just talking. That's probably the worst conditions we've ever experienced, and we've been doing this for a long time. So it's just one of those nights, and as cold as it was. But I got concerned with Yogo there because it was coming out 85, 88, 86, and he's not throwing changeups there. So I was concerned there. So I think he's okay, but that was my concern there.
With Marcus, do you think it was simply the horrendous conditions you spoke of, or do you think it was more than that?
I mean, just he's dotting off the plate, but obviously pitches just off the plate, and then when he came into the zone, he got hurt, obviously, and then or in and around a couple of walks. We got to look at it and try and continue to make some adjustments.
You look at the stretch you're on now. You have 12 straight after this one. Just do you need to find more pitching after this one?
I think hopefully we'll be all right. I mean, obviously we got to get a representative start and everything, but we're able to stay away from a lot of guys tonight. Yarbrough picked us up pretty big time there, so hopefully we'll be all right tomorrow, but we'll see what we have.
And back to Gomez for a second. Is he going to be checked out or anything, or you're convinced that he's totally?
I think he's good. I'm sure. Yeah, we'll continue to talk with him
but no testing or anything.
No testing right now.
B over the right.
Was he telling you it was an elbow, shoulder?
No, he's saying he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I think probably just having a little trouble getting a grip and probably backing off a little, trying to feel for it. So, no, he was saying he was fine.
Also, earlier in the inning, you were talking to the umpires while they were getting the mound all together. Were you, I don't know if lobbying is the word for them to call it, but were you discussing the weather and telling them, like, hey, this isn't getting any better?
I mean, we were kind of having those conversations. Lance, obviously, been around a long time. Myself, I'm just like, it's pretty rough right here. And just, seeing, my concern was when the velo really dropped off, and it starts turning into a completely different game, and that's what I want to avoid.
Are you concerned for all player safety at that point?
Yeah, I mean that was, of course, that's one of the things that's running through your mind the entire game. But but that said, I thought, considering the conditions, I thought the field was okay.
Brian to the left.
Understanding you're 13 games in, how do you feel about what you're getting from your rotation at this point?
Well, I mean, we got to do better. Obviously we're coming off a great start with Max, and but we've struggled. To this point, again, it's like you said, it's 13 games in, but we've got to night in and night out pitch a little bit better to put us in a good situation. So we'll keep working at it, and obviously Clark's going to join, and that should help things. And we have very capable people, but we gotta get a little more.
Ron and Chris.
And with Clark coming back, and now you're going to have a decision to make, is Marcus saying he doesn't see himself as a reliever or a factor in the decision making, or do you have to just evaluate on what's best overall?
Yeah, I don't know even how to answer that, factor. That's not even on my mind. We just had a rough night, and we got to turn around and get after it tomorrow. So Will goes tomorrow, so we'll get to work on and trying to help everyone get a little bit better.
Chris and Laura.
Going back to the second half of last year, Marcus has, struggled. Do you still think he can be a viable starter for you moving forward? I do. I mean, because I think the movement qualities are there. Again, it's, less margin for error. And there's probably some adjustments we can all make. We can make with him that hopefully,
allow him to go out there and be effective. Because the stuff's not much different than the first half of last season to the second half to now. So, just, we gotta execute a little better.
Is there a reason why he can't find the command?
I don't know. I kind of think he is. You watch the game and he's nailing the glove. We're a little off the plate. He wants us set up a little off the plate there. So, we probably could make some adjustments there. But we got to keep working at it with everyone that we have.
Laura and Gary.
What were the discussions like leading up to first pitch to even start the game?
Yeah, great. There was, so at 5 o'clock, there was the meeting that kind of said, okay, we're good to go. We think it's going to be kind of light throughout. And then, concern about 9:30 and 10 o'clock. And then right before we were getting ready to send the starting pitchers out to get warm, just after the 6 o'clock hour, they said, hold on. And there were some pessimistic reports that came in, but with some optimistic reports that came in. So it was very, in my eyes, a little bit dicey.
Gary.
With Marcus, when you say adjustments and his stuff is there, are you talking more approach and the way
Gary, we just played. I mean, so we look at everything. We just got off the field, so we'll look at everything. We try and make adjustments. We're trying to optimize and make everyone the best they can be. I don't have anything real specific for you here right after the game.
I was just curious if it was more approach or mechanical that you're seeing over these first few starts.
Yeah, and look, I think at the back end of spring, I felt like mechanically he was getting really good because we started to see the movement qualities really pick up and get to kind of where he wanted them. And I feel like through his first couple of starts, we saw that too. In and around, he had a rough fourth inning in his second start, gave up the home run down the line. But, for most of both of those two starts, there was good and there was, it starts a little bit with the sinker where I feel like he was getting that good late downward action, which is key for him. So, our pitching guys will look at everything with him and see where we can make adjustments and hopefully get a little bit better.
Boone. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and are we done?
Yeah. Are we done? Yeah.
Yeah, and Stroh won't be in there. Stroh part of the thing was he came out, his knee was bothering him, so he went to get some tests and done on his knee. So we'll see, what we have from there too.
Specifically, what was he complaining of? And
Nothing. Just when he came out, he says his left knee was bugging him. So we got some X-rays here, and I think he went to the hospital to get some more testing, and so we'll see what we have tomorrow.